Welcome to Cyber Bytes, your weekly dose in the latest in cybersecurity news. I'm your host, Edwin Kwan, and today's segment includes how a viral AI social media trend could actually hand hackers your personal data, how North Korean groups are luring developers with fake coding gigs, and why open source software, which is the backbone of modern software, is on shaky financial grounds. We'll also cover the troubling Microsoft Copilot bug that's been peeking into confidential emails and wrap up with a wild new strain of Android malware that's using Google Gemini's AI to stick around. So grab your coffee and let's get right into it. So for our first segment, you've probably seen it on your feed. People sharing these AI-generated caricatures of themselves at work. They look harmless enough, right? I mean, it's just a fun way to get a cartoon version of yourself doing your job. But here's the thing. Security researchers are warning that this viral trend might be setting up millions for potential cyber attacks. They're saying that as of early February, there's more than 2.6 million of these images being posted on Instagram. And that's a whole lot of personal data being displayed. There's job titles, company names, and even responsibilities. It's basically a buffet of information for cyber criminals. Attackers can use those tiny hints, such as your role, your employer, your email pattern, to identify corporate email addresses and craft extremely convincing phishing campaigns. Imagine getting a payroll update email that looks too real because the attackers know your department and your company culture. Even worse, analysts are saying that many people use generative AI tools like ChatGPT for actual work, often with no oversight from their employers. If those AI accounts get compromised, attackers could access confidential conversations, project details, internal strategies, maybe even unreleased product information. So the best defense is to treat personal AI accounts like professional tools. Limit what you share and avoid oversharing AI-generated content that reveals too much about where or how you work. It's also a good reminder that the internet doesn't need to know everything about your job, especially not in a cartoon form. Up next, if you're a developer getting random coding test offers from blockchain startups, please take a second look. Researchers have uncovered a major campaign, which is dubbed Graphalo, and it's run by North Korean hackers. These attackers are posing as recruiters, targeting mostly JavaScript and Python developers in the crypto and blockchain industries. This is what they do. They'll contact you on LinkedIn or Discord, pretending to be from a legitimate company with a coding challenge. So you download what looks like a test project, maybe something like bigmathutils.js, and you run it, except it's hiding malware instead of math functions. Once executed, the code installs a remote access Trojan that gives attackers a backdoor into your system. The malware can browse your files, run commands, and even search for crypto wallet extensions like MetaMask. Reversing Lab researchers link this to the Lazarus Group, which is the same unit behind several massive crypto heists in previous years. One malicious package alone reached over 10,000 downloads before being stealthily removed. So if you're a dev who've downloaded test projects from unknown recruiters lately, you should assume that your systems may be compromised. Rotate all your credentials, and if you can, reinstall your OS, because a clean slate is the only way to remove this malware. And yes, that's right, it's 2026 and even your job interview might be a social engineering trap. Okay, let's move on to our next segment, and we're going into the open source world, and one that is a little bit alarming. So you know those package registries that developers rely on every day, your NPM, PyPI, Ruby Gems, Maven Central. Well, they're broke, or at least dangerously close to it. At FOSDEM 2026, Michael Windsor from the Linux Foundation's Alpha Omega project warned that these registries are running on razor-thin budgets, even as the usage skyrockets. They're pretty much, according to him, living on borrowed time. The problem is, while costs for bandwidth storage and security keep climbing, funding and staffing haven't moved at all. Malware submissions are through the roof. Nearly 845,000 malicious packages detected between 2019 and 2025. They're mostly on NPM though, and it can take over a day and a half just to remove a single bad package. That's plenty of time for something like the Shai-Hulud worm to spread across thousands of systems. The thing is, there's no easy way to monetize these registries. Charging fees would just drive developers to fork them and create insecure knockoffs. The pitch by the speaker was simple. He says big corporations that rely on these systems should fund them consistently, not just treat security donations as charity. And he's got a good point. Open source drives everything, from banking systems to your AI tools, yet the people keeping it safe are scraping by. If there's ever been a moment for tech giants to step up and invest in the ecosystem that fuels their product, this would be it. Okay, story 4. Let's talk about Microsoft Copilot, the AI assistant everyone's been integrating into their workflows ever since it launched mid last year. Turns out a recently discovered bug has been causing Copilot to summarize confidential emails that were supposed to be off limits. The bug, tracked as CW1226-324, affected the Work tab chat feature. Essentially, Copilot was accessing emails in users' sent and draft folders, even those marked with confidential or do not process tags. It's important to note this wasn't a data breach per se. No one saw information they weren't already allowed access to. But it does mean Copilot ignored data loss prevention policies, which are supposed to stop exactly this kind of misstep. Now, Microsoft's been rolling out a fix since early February and says enterprise access controls weren't compromised, but it is still a little bit alarming. As workplaces rush to adopt AI tools, even a small bug in a system like this could accidentally mishandle sensitive data. So, if your organization's rolling out AI integrations, keep an eye out, not just on what they do, but what they shouldn't do. Remember that saying, trust but verify. All right, and now we're off to our last one. Researchers have identified PromptSpy, which is the first Android malware that actually uses Google Gemini AI to help it survive. Yep, malware is now talking to chatbots for help. So this is what happens. PromptSpy infects your phone through a fake app. In this case, it's disguising itself as Morgan Ark, pretending to be JP Morgan Chase. Once installed, it uses Gemini to analyze your phone's user interface in real time. The malware sends screenshots and XML descriptions of your screen to Gemini and then asks the AI for instructions, like, where is the uninstall button? Gemini responds with the precise coordinates, telling the malware how to block your actions. So this allows it to stay persistent even when you try to delete it, by creating invisible overlays or locking itself into your app list. It can also record your screen, capture login gestures, and remotely stream everything to its operators via a built-in VNC connection. Researchers believe PromptSpy originated from Chinese-speaking developers, and it is currently targeting users in Argentina. But as these things go, geographic boundaries don't mean much in malware land. So if you ever suspect malware like this, the only way to truly remove it is to reboot your device in safe mode and uninstall from there. And yes, this might mark the beginning of a whole new kind of threat. AI-assisted malware that learns and adapts to each target's exact device environment. And that's it for this week's Cyber Bytes. We're living in a world where every new AI feature comes with a side order of risk. And the best defense is awareness plus smart digital hygiene. I'm Edwin Kwan. Stay safe online, and I will catch you next time.